All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to The Way We See It. It's another Tuesday night, January 24th, 2023. We get a lot to go over tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The boys are sitting in the back room just waiting to get out here and tear some shit up. But look, tonight's poll is should Alec Baldwin be charged with manslaughter? Now, that's tonight's poll. You can show up what your answer is going to be up there in the comments. We're going to touch base on more of the Biden files, where the money's going, all of that fun stuff like that. We're going to touch a little bit base on Alec Baldwin. It's just funny on how all these celebrities want to come out and the guy didn't do nothing wrong, all that stuff like that. It just goes to show on how they protect their own. We're also going to go over a little bit of the woman who was instrumental in Roe v. Wade. And of course, we're going to go over a little bit of Russia Ukraine war and the House Republicans vote on the bill to abolish, IRS and 80,000 new employees and all that fun stuff like that. So we got a great show for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And let me introduce the boys to you. And I'm going to start off with there, Mr. D and Mr. Jim and Mr. Donnie. Um, Look, guys, we got some kind of like breaking news going on here in a sense because we've done a lot of research on the whole Biden files, all that stuff like that. They're finding classified evidence and all of that stuff like that everywhere. Um, they even come to the point where this guy was supposedly taking classified information home when he was a senator. Okay, in the 80s and shit like that. So I don't know how much dust was on those files, but according to research that I did, and all the guys do the various research here on to that matter. But with some extra research that we've been doing, Jim, is it comes out to find that we found out that the Biden, the $50,000 a month, wasn't exactly going to dad for rent or anything like that. So let's hear it, buddy.
But no, it wasn't. He was renting some. Well, supposedly, again, they can't. Nothing's actually like set in stone here either way. Obviously, we only know what they're going to tell us. So who knows what's true anyway? But supposedly, it was actually supposed to be for like an office or something. He was renting out somewhere for his company, and it wasn't $50,000 a month. It was actually like quarterly payments to whatever company that was leasing him this space to rent. So yeah, I mean it was looking pretty real there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens from here.
I mean,
It's
but what exactly like happened to the point to where all right, the whole big story was $50,000 a month he was paying rent to his dad and all that stuff like that, and how did
well,
go ahead.
it started because they found like I don't know a photo of some sort, which is what started everything, where it was like a background check or something for something. I don't know. You can look it up on the internet. It'll show you what it was for. But it was like a background check, and it showed where his residence was, and all this other stuff. And on the bottom it said like rent. So the story was that was a background like thing for a credit check of some sort uh, for another loan. Through like a bank or something, and that's what he put down was he pays $50,000 in rent, and his home address was, the house in Delaware there. So that's where
Right.
they said, "Oh, this guy's paying $50,000 a month for rent," and that's how the whole story
Right,
kind of came
and
together.
not doing their due diligence as a reporter or whatever. They're just like, oh shit, he's paying $50,000 a month. Let's put it out there. You know what I mean? So Donnie, where's the money going here?
What do you mean? Where does it go?
Yeah, I mean, where's the money going here? I
More
mean,
like, where's it coming from?
well, going coming from it's being paid quarterly. So, and who else is giving them money?
Okay, so what for Biden? It all funnels to the Biden Foundation. That's where all his money goes.
Yeah,
That, that's where it all goes. It all funnels his way right back to the Biden Foundation through donations, charitable donations that are
lots of them
tax
from
write-offs
China.
for everybody else.
Yeah, and
The
I
charitable
think,
donations. Let me tell you, there's some gracious people to the Biden family. Gosh darn.
Yeah, and it makes you
Where the
wonder what
money
they
comes
get back
from
in
is
return. Yeah.
from taxpayers and people, all these little twerks, and they're gonna tax this and tax that, and there's new fees and this processing fee. That's where they get money for all that.
Yeah. It's
Well, the
just it
scary.
is. It's basically money laundering constantly.
Yeah.
That's what they
Yeah,
do. I mean,
exactly.
and that's probably the whole files thing is bad enough, but I really like the big thing for me is what's in them. You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of the same thing with the whole situation with Trump. You know, they're totally obviously taking every opportunity to beat that horse to death as well, while kind of downplaying this situation. But to me, it's more of what it uncovers in the bigger picture of who Biden is, and especially his son, and all the things that they were involved with. Because no matter what, when you actually start looking at the companies he was in and all the things, all the money transfers and stuff like that happened, this guy didn't belong anywhere in any of the companies he was involved with. And certainly there's not many doubts in my mind that these people were able to buy access to Biden through him. I mean, again, we have the interviews with shit. I can't forget the guy's name. It references the big guy and the 10% and all that good stuff. It's all there, man. We just gotta actually tie the pieces together. That's all. And it'll happen eventually with this investigation, I'm hoping, because they are digging up a lot more crap with Biden's Hunter's laptop and all of that. There's a lot of files that are uncovering things that are gonna.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna end up being something. It's gonna be at that point where if they don't actually do anything about it, then it's I don't know.
Well,
We've already lost.
The big guy or the boss. That's from that Ginobili dude. That's the former head of the FBI that was involved in the investigation into the Trump Russia stuff during his vote or when he ran or whatever. That dude just got arrested for having ties to Russian oligarchs and doing dirty work when he knows damn well the money he was getting was dirty. So that's where half of that comes back to. I mean, all it is a tit for tat. They all do that. Yeah. And at some point, like you're saying right now, Jim, the rest of the common citizens are going to be like, what the hell, man? You guys just can't keep getting away with this. This ain't, you thought January 6th was bad. Shit, it's going to get worse next time. Because next time they're going to want to take you out. Because they're going to be like, the hell with this. I'd rather do it myself because you ain't doing shit for me anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't need you.
D?
What we have here is failure to communicate. Some men, they just don't get it. Getting back to this classified junk, man. So, Donnie, just to answer up on that FBI, and this is so freaking hard to believe, man. That an FBI was working for a Russian oligarch, and he was responsible for terrorism. And he was working for this oligarch and spying using FBI dollars to spy on the other Russian oligarch to chop him off at the feet. My question to that gentleman is, if anybody got hurt doing all these investigations or possibly died, that this guy needs to be hanged, man.
That's
No,
what the fire squad came from.
yeah, no, man. He he sent out his agents because he wasn't out there on the street in the Crown Vic, spotting area out. He was doing the dirty work, and oh man, it's sad. But go ahead.
No, Demas, I was going to go back to, there was this line we used to have to repeat a lot in the Army. It said, I will not use my grade or position for pleasure, profit, or personal safety. I think Homeboy just did all of that with taxpayer dollars. He did all of that. He used it for pleasure, personal safety, profit, all of that. So for
Yeah.
me, it's a firing squad. I'm with Blaze. Firing squad, dude.
Yes, and
Hell no.
especially if you hurt an
Back to
agent,
hammer.
Exactly, man. Come on.
Yeah, it's out of control. It really is.
Yeah.
And the worst part of everything, though, I mean, is really for me is the way I see it is the media, dude. If it wasn't for the way the media is in this country, eh, we would have a lot different, like I think, thought process on what happens. Basically, these guys are all the same. They're all cut from the same pile of shit. And instead of having news outlets that take the facts and report them to you and actually try to figure out what's going on, they choose a side on what shit they like the most, and then they pound it into the American people, and it puts us at the point we're at now, where the country is so divided that if one side says something's white, the other one says it's black, and there's no in the details of what happens in the middle doesn't even matter. And that's where we are, is like the scandals that go on every day. We know the amount of money these people are just pocketing. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of money these people make from us because they produce nothing. It's our money, and we just sit back and go, whatever. It's crazy, and it's the media's fault. But anyway.
You're absolutely right. I think all of us agree with that. I mean, look, it's how long has it been? And everything is just like slow turning, slow turning. Yeah, they'll give you a little piece here and there and all that stuff like that. I mean, I don't got really not much to worry about as far as Biden goes. President Biden, he's still got 2 years to go. All of that stuff like that. But this is all. Look, if this was Trump, guys, let's just be honest. I mean, he would right now he'd be in handcuffs, being escorted out of his house.
No, he
Well,
won't.
I mean, he definitely got a shit. I mean, he got raided, dude. You know what I mean? So
they would have handled it a totally different way. You're correct, because they would have made straight publicity out of this. That look at the Democrats, we're squeaky clean, and look at your Republican Trump guy that wants to be. Oh, they would play that in a heartbeat. Any smart politician that wants to run against Trump would play it. Heck, that chick that they're saying that she's going to be run as a Republican, she needs to distance herself from Trump and be like, you know what? Hey, that's what he deserves. She would cut his throat in a minute. You know what I mean? Of course.
And those politicians you talk about, Donnie, that go like that after Trump, they got steel for nuts. No, I'm serious.
Steel for nuts.
A sack of lead balls. Yeah, I mean, all of this stuff that's coming out. What other politicians stole classified? You know what I mean?
No, that goes to Jim's point about the media and how they portray it. Because if you look at Mike Pence, they're trying to dog him out as he's being dirty. He's got something negative tone to him having documents. He's the former VP.
Right.
But when they found him in Biden's garage and everything else, it's okay. Hey, they were trying to clean up and they found him. They reported right and they did everything they were supposed to do.
And that's what I was saying. So
President Biden's Corvette is the most protected Corvette on the planet. Those boxes behind that vintage Corvette was, safe as can be. You know what I mean?
No, but that's exactly the point I'm trying to make, dude. Is they're trying to make it. It's either it is or it isn't illegal in my eyes, and I guess if you want to go by that, Trump's just as to blame. They're both wrong. You both broke the law. How many ex-presidents and probably vice presidents do you think held on to documents? Probably every single one of them.
All of them.
Every single one of them. So,
but what you're asking for, Jim, is not profitable. Doesn't
you're right. And I understand that, but that's what got us where we are, and it's what's not going to allow us to move forward at this point, because no matter what happens, if it's Trump, one side's going, it's not that bad, and the other side's going, hang him, and then vice versa. So we can't ever move forward. It's just like this endless cycle of circular firing squad. It's
Well,
crazy.
we're also missing the nearly $6 million that was, from China. That the big boss, was receiving. I mean, the Pence Biden building, that was a think tank, right? I mean, I got
Yes.
everybody.
The
Something like
Biden
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Center, the Biden Center, and it was built in University of PA, which
Right.
Yep.
is recognized as an Ivy League school. Um, but we were talking about money, and I just wanted to shout out Biden received like 36 million for that center, man,
Yeah.
from the Chinese, man.
Yep.
Is
Yeah.
it, and you see the problem we have here with these documents is that there's a systematic problem here. And that problem goes down to greed. Just like I made mention the week before, is that they all want this stuff for their memoirs when they leave because it's juicy. It has a lot of material. What the way the military guides themselves through classified documents, man, you read it in a skiff, man. That's it. You can't take it home to study on it or anything like that. But these clowns do. And what kills me is the standards. The standards have dropped for the politicians, but the guys out in the field, the soldiers, DEA, CIA, all them guys, they're held to a different standard. Come on.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing
you
for
know,
everyone.
Biden's going to go down for the simple fact he's a crime boss, and he's losing his marbles, man. He can't keep up with all these lies anymore, man. And you guys will see he's deteriorating bad. And shame on his wife for having him out there. To
Yeah.
even think to run again, because she's just as
She don't
corrupt as he
care.
is.
She
She's
don't
just
care.
she's just as corrupt as he
Yeah,
is.
no, it is. And I was saying that when he was, running, and even like right towards the end of the campaign, dude, it was like they had to like walk him out on, like, the dude's hurting, man. Just let him go. But I don't know. He doesn't know any better. He loves it anyway. Why would he ever stop?
It
But
just seems.
the one thing that you said is the crime family. And I think, again, that goes back to what I was saying originally is, yeah, if they're both, all right, so they're guilty, they did it, whatever. The difference was their intent to make money off it? What was in the documents? The intent behind it, to me, is what actually carries the weight. So, having all these Chinese, companies and, wealthy people, CEOs, all of that stuff, who are donating all this money. I mean, again, that's a conflict of interest, no matter which way you look at it, man. And to say that it's not possible, that either his son or even himself allowed any of these documents to be viewed or sold information, I don't know. It's not that far of a leap, and that's the part that needs to be dug up.
Right. And we
We
got
And
to.
that's the difference between, like, with me, with the Trump and him. I honestly don't believe Trump had any like malintent with it. And the dude was always America first. I don't think Joe Biden gives a shit about America. I think he would sell us out if he had the chance. So I
Crispy
think the
Falco
intent.
says in the comments here, we will see. We tried telling you Biden was losing his mind while he was running. Yeah, well, we all knew that.
That's a great Buffalo Bills fan right there.
Yeah,
Crispy
yeah,
Fargo. What
yeah,
happened to them
definitely.
Bills? Oh.
But look, Jesus Christ, this is so insane. What do you think Obama thinks about all of this, especially the material that was taken while Biden was vice president?
he
What do you
wrote he wrote his book already and he turned the documents in.
right?
He probably was like, oh, what's
He's
that on the
adamant on
news?
the memoirs. You know what I
Delete.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's
Yeah.
their big payday when they get out, man.
Yeah.
Obama
Read
could
that
care
book.
less what happens to Biden anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Biden served his
what I
purpose. Obama needed him, and that's all Obama cares really. He'll shake their hands and kiss the babies in the public, and they'll play nice. But I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Obama's like, hey, whatever, dude, I'm out.
Yeah.
Don't call me.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
so
chilling.
what
Yeah.
what actually comes out of this? What do we want to see that comes out of this? You
My
know,
honest opinion.
Hunter should be in jail. You know what I mean?
What
There's
What
but
do you mean? What do
listen,
we want?
I say that he should be in jail because this is a guy that had yeah, no knowledge of anything that he was a part of. He had no credentials for it, and yet he was, making millions of dollars. What was it?
Yeah,
I could see
there's
the
so
I
many
could
people who are dumb as
you know
shit
I
that
could
don't
see
know what they're
the
doing to make
right.
millions
I
of
could
dollars.
see the Chinese
Half
now
of
during like
Congress.
the Chinese during like a board meeting or whatever, and the Chinese guy says in Chinese, send a moron white guy in. You know what I mean? And listen, just sit there, shut your mouth. You know what I mean? Here's a paycheck for 600,000. We need Daddy to see if you could get Daddy to move this along or help with this or do whatever. Right? Do you feel that's
And
the
it-
way it kind of went
and it,
down?
yeah, Blaze, exactly, exactly.
Right?
You know,
Right?
we're always wait a minute, Donnie. We're always talking about America first, America first. Joe Biden is not America first, and I think we all agreed that already. You know, he talks about Chinese and all this other bullshit. Man, he's playing right into their hand. Sniff here and
Yeah.
pinch
Listen,
the nipples.
listen, listen. The day.
Oh, crispy Farco. Biden will sniff their head and pinch their nipples while telling you he don't work for you. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
He
He's
come right
right.
out, literally sat there in an interview with a black man and says, "If you don't vote for me, then you ain't black."
Yeah. Yeah.
Biden
And,
said
and then
that.
he ends up getting the most votes of any president. Yeah, it makes
Ah,
sense.
Right.
that's
Right. So yeah, and he said that basically they had him on TMZ had it. I can't find it again, but I think you told me about it too, Demas. They had him on tape talking about telling one guy, he's like, "Yeah, I ain't worried about y'all no more because y'all live over there, not over here." And basically
Yep.
referencing that, you don't live over here on this uppity or my side of the island, so get your ass back over to your side of the island type
Yeah.
deal. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But I
So
mean, I
his
don't think.
mentality is not about America first. It's totally about him, his foundation, whatever. And I really wanted to play devil's advocate on the whole. How do you want to say it? Damn, I don't forgot it. What we were talking about.
Uh,
Hot
Because
damn it.
you guys are talking about what you want to come out of
oh, what
all
the
this trials and
investigation?
all
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
What do you really want? Do you want to see people go to jail and do all this stuff, or would you rather see something change where this kind of crap don't happen again? Because you're dogging out Hunter Biden for using daddy's influence, but we do that for our kids in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
We just don't do it at that magnitude, not at that level. I'm really
Yeah. Well,
mad because
well,
maybe
just because
he
you don't
just
have
had
the
a better
chance.
opportunity.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
Yeah. No.
you
Well,
know
I,
what?
I
Are we
think
hating
though.
on him for that?
Yeah, but I don't know. Would you sell your country out for it though? I
No,
don't think
of
I'd do
course not.
that.
Ah,
You
We
know.
know this young man took things way too far.
Yeah.
But the principle of the matter is, are we really hating on him because dad did what any dad would do if he could? I mean,
Yeah.
did he?
Well, again, if it was
Damn. But yeah, he took it too far. There was way too much going on. And it's obvious that he just, there's got to be an ulterior motive to why he's not in jail right now.
jail.
There's got to be another motive
Jail.
to it that we just
Jail.
can't figure out.
I hear the boys in the back, Blaze guys, the metallic click. They're doing a lot of dry firing right now, exercises. I hear a lot click, click. You know the dry
Listen,
fire drill, Donnie.
I
listen.
know.
How can anybody sit there and look at this family and not know that it's a crazy, screwed up family when his most precious son, God rest his soul, you know what I mean, that passed away, and then
Whoa.
Hunter goes and marries the wife.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's total disgusting. Yes.
That's
I can
messed
see
up.
Hunter Biden now walking in all wrecked and shit on crack. Say, you know what, Daddy, you never loved me. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna marry Bo's wife, man. I'm gonna do it. You know,
That's pretty messed up, man.
That's a little creepy for me too. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a little weird, dude.
you know. Well,
But
that's how it happened. He married her. He
Yeah, I
married
guess.
her.
I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, dude. You're right. It's crazy. I don't know. The whole thing's messed up. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
You totally just blew my mind. I didn't even need to know. I mean, I knew all of that. I just never really thought of it that deeply.
you
Well,
need
you
a
should.
refresh.
You should,
Yeah, I don't
'cause
know. You hear things like that, and you're just like, yeah, all
You
right,
know,
cool.
'cause
Man,
I
but,
can-
you
'cause
really
I
think
def-
about it, you're like, wow, that is really, really. I swear to
Yeah,
God, I never sat
'cause
here and thought about that.
I can
Totally
see my
messed up.
mother whizzing a shoe at me. Like, what are you talking about? You're not marrying your brother's wife. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
that's
what's
crazy,
going on
man.
here?
Yeah, man.
You know?
But-
No, but
Yeah.
they went and they did it. You know, well, listen, I'll tell you what. We'll
Yeah,
see.
anyway,
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
I guess
what happens.
that's not, but that's the thing, that's why I don't like the guy. I mean, there's a bunch of reasons, but again, I don't know, whatever. You can't,
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
You can't judge his
Listen,
entire. It's not
Go
his
ahead.
fault, dude. He didn't marry her. You know what I'm saying?
right?
It's still, you know what I mean? It's sick and twisted, dude. But it's not, you can't put him in jail for
But
it. I guess.
but
is what
I
my
totally
point is.
could picture
Yeah.
the tantrums from Hunter with his father. You never loved me.
Yeah.
Always Bo.
Oh yeah.
You
Yes.
know, it's always
yeah.
Bo.
Yep.
Look at me now, Dad. Look at me now, Dad. You know, come on.
You're having fun, Blaze. You're intending
Yeah,
yourself.
I'm having a great time because
Yeah.
I can see it. Listen, I know people that have dysfunctional families like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're looking at one of them, man.
Right. Look, that's the way it's going down. And then Biden's like, calm down, Hunter, calm down. You know, listen, I'm gonna send you to Ukraine. You know what I mean? You can party. Don't worry about nothing's gonna get out. You know what I mean? I'll make sure to some of these oligarchs will send you some cash. Don't worry about nothing. And that's just the way it went down. That's exactly the way it went down.
I don't know
Tanya.
if it was like that. But
I can say it went down
D,
halfway that way.
D,
No,
tell
wait.
me right now, you didn't see Hunter having a fucking tantrum.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
'Cause
Definitely.
we
Oh,
all know
definitely.
that Bo was Biden's favorite son.
Yep.
You know what I
And,
mean?
Gosh, are we really
it
gonna
would have
go
been
this?
it would have been my favorite son too.
Right?
But
Yeah,
no,
Jesus.
but President Biden, when he was debating President Trump, Trump threw him a curveball. Hey, your son and blah blah blah. And then old Joe was like, "Yeah, my son has problems, just like a lot of people here in America has with
Right.
addiction." And I was like, "Wow, man."
Yeah.
He hit that out of the park,
Sympathetic.
man.
Right.
Yeah,
Sympathetic.
He hit it out of the
Sympathetic.
park, man.
Sympathetic. And I'll tell you right now, somebody wrote that for him because there's no damn way in his mind he thought that shit up. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, stick around. The way we see it, we'll be right back, and we're going to get into a little bit of Alec Baldwin. And our poll for tonight is: do you think that Alec Baldwin should go to jail for involuntary manslaughter? And with that being said, stick around for more the way we see it, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be right back.
Ladies and Jerry from the Neutral Corner on FFN Media. Every Thursday night, 7 to 8, catch my show live. We are talking with legends, we're talking with professionals, we're talking with amateurs, we're also talking about gyms and different programs they have. You can catch us live on FFN Media, 7 to 8 p.m. Not only can you catch us live, you can actually ask questions in the comments and interact with our guests. Hope to see you then.
Hey guys, Nick Parsons here. Come check my show Unbox Thoughts out. Live every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. on the FFN Radio Network page.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Way We See It right here on FFN Radio Network. We were discussing the I mean, not the Adams family, the Biden family. And, just, I don't know, it's a bunch of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And we'll keep biting on this topic as long as it stays interesting. Um, with that being said, we'd like to work on a little bit of the Alec Baldwin. Um, the district attorney in that state wants to charge Mr. Baldwin with involuntary manslaughter. Um, and the reason why she wants to prosecute him that is because he's the executive producer of the movie. So that means he's the boss over everybody. So anybody who got hired, okay, it's on him. So if he wanted to save money, you know what I mean, which he did, he buys pretty much unqualified people to do the job of taking care of weapons and and all of those things like that. So for me, that's negligence on his part, even if it comes to the point where like he says, I never pulled the trigger. Well, again, we should have called this show tonight. I'm a fucking stupid moron. And that's my honest opinion because um, don't you check to see if the gun's loaded? I mean, everything that I read, they were out during breaks. They were setting up cans and bottles and shooting with live ammunition. Shooting cans and bottles. I mean, shouldn't there be a protocol on any movie set that no live rounds whatsoever should be on a set of any movie? Today's day and age where we have CGI and anything that you can make anything look real on camera. That being said, Mr. Baldwin is a cheap bastard, and of course he didn't have that kind of technology, and opted out of getting people to load guns and uh, you know again, what I read, there's a thing in Hollywood that says when any firearms are on a set or whatever, people yell out green, green. Okay, that means that the firearm that's on a set right now is clean. It's got the blanks in it or whatever and all that stuff like that. Okay. Um, Now, with that being said, did they call green out on a set? You know what I mean? Guys, weigh in here.
Yeah, well, one report I heard, somebody said they called it cold gun. That was the last thing I heard. And I honestly, I don't know, dude. Like, this is kind of one of those issues. I don't have an idea what's right and wrong. I don't think he meant to do it, but he did it. And obviously, he definitely pulled the trigger because guns don't shoot themselves, or whatever. It was in his hand and it went off. So that's your responsibility at that point. The second that bullet left the barrel, you own that thing. So the way I see it is he ought to be charged. If you're going to point something at somebody that can kill him, you should know what's in it. I don't care if you're on a movie set or your backyard or where you are. It's your responsibility.
But Jim, you realize he's probably just going to get probation for this, right?
Yeah,
I
nothing's
mean,
gonna
I'm
happen.
sure. I mean, dude, I don't think he meant to do that, but it is definitely whatever he gets, in my opinion.
Remember, it's a negligence
But,
on his part, though. You don't
you
think
know,
so? I mean, he's the one who hired
absolutely.
too. He's the one who hired everybody.
I'll wrap this up, and I'll include the documents too. Everybody's trying to do shortcuts these days, with anything from documents to having real ammunition on a live set. And you know something, that real live ammunition set. So they're filming in New Mexico, and that as I seen the site, and I know New Mexico, and it's probably a boring ass site. So they shoot cans or animals when they're not filming. Again, we don't have no more standards. Everything is, we were in the military. If we'd mess up, the first song would always say, go back to basics. Step one, step two, step three. And everybody wants to cut. Everybody wants to cut standard.
Okay, but what's the standard though
Not
for
to
that
have
kind of
not
thing?
to have live ammunition, have a qualified armorer there. Just like Crispy Farkle made mention, he Baldwin didn't have no idea what was happening. It was the female doing after a job.
Right,
She
right.
was the armor, and she had hardly any experience, Donnie.
I
Again,
know that. I know
he's
that.
going for the short, I mean, the cheap people.
You're
Hey,
taking the
you get
shortcut, but at some point somebody's got to take their shot to shine too. So there might be a mixture of that in there. But I agree though. I'm with Jim. If if you're gonna put it in your hand and pull the trigger, then you better know what's in it, and you
Yeah,
got to be smart enough. And as many movies as this guy has made, action movies where they do some of this, don't come and try to play dumb now. And I didn't know. No, you knew.
well, I
Come on
think the
now.
biggest thing, right? If you weren't out in New Mexico shooting cans, you know what I mean. If you were just on a set in Hollywood somewhere, and excuse me, maybe that would be one thing to not second guess it, or even for this to not even cross this guy's mind, I guess, knowing that a half hour ago you were shooting target practice with this thing, and to not even have the common sense to check that, to make sure there were no live rounds in it, is beyond me. So
Yeah, that's where the situational awareness things and the armorer that Demas mentioned, that's where they come in and they make sure when they hand something off, it's cleared or it's exactly where it's supposed to be. They got to be integrated into the process.
well,
But
and to that, I think again that's probably what D was talking about when he says you go back to basics, man.
yeah,
That should be your MO. If you're on a set where you're shooting things and with real live ammunition, you should be going back to basics before you even think of using that firearm anywhere else. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but
I But nah, Donnie and Jim, it goes back to the old saying: you hire cheap people, you're gonna get cheap work. You're gonna get cheap performance. You're gonna get cheap standards. You know,
right, I understand that. Yes, I understand
But
that.
again, all right. So
I'm
even
not.
if you knew that, right? Honest to God, this is what I'm saying. So I know, all right, I'm a cheap bastard. I hire these cheap people. You're allowing, you're gonna roll the dice on cheap people that they cleared that chamber for you. That's what I'm saying.
But
Is okay. You can hire the cheap people to say that you had them there, because I mean, that's pretty much at that point what they were good for. Just to say you had them there. I mean, if you know they're cheap and they don't do their job well, and you get what you pay for, then I mean it's kind of still on Baldwin to check that gun.
Yeah. So, you can cry me that river on that cheap talent you did while you're in your 24 months of, minimum security probation at some lushy prison resort somewhere, wherever it is,
Well,
or house probation that you're going to do at the, 5-star resort somewhere. I don't know, but still, I just don't want to hear I didn't know. And he comes out and he has this big sob story. No, you knew, man. You've done a lot of stuff. You've been in this field a long time. You've been doing action movies, all this stuff. You know these things. So that's on you. Take responsibility. It's just so
100%.
quick how somebody's, oh my gosh, something major happened that could impact my life. And now all of a sudden, I didn't know. What was, whoa. No,
Yeah.
You knew that risk
Christy
and you took
Farco
it.
has a good point here in the comments. He said she was kicked off of other sets, meaning the girl that he hired to do take care of the weapons and all that stuff like that. She was kicked off another set for firing guns without warnings to the actors and actresses and all that stuff like that.
Okay, so she gets hung up right up along with everybody else. You weren't doing your job. Alec Baldwin, if you were in charge of all that and you were responsible for hiring these people, well, take up ownership, dude. You own it. It's on you.
and
100%.
and what I'm hearing also from the media is that during that scene he wasn't even required to hit the trigger. All he had to do was point it, because what Blazeman said, the CGI would have came in effect there in the
Right,
cutting room.
right.
Why did he fire it?
Yeah, there you go.
'Cause who
Why
knows
did he
that day,
fire it?
right? Who knows that day? They're all like, having a fun time on set.
Yes.
Who knows? If you're having
Yep.
some beers or whatever, they're back out there shooting a gun, all that stuff like that. It comes time to again, this is all speculation, ladies and gentlemen. He comes back on a set, same gun, but he just got done shooting some bottles with it. You know what I mean? Comes back on set, points the gun on her at her. Everybody's still laughing. He pulls the fucking trigger. She drops dead.
Yeah. I just think he's a complete freaking idiot.
Oh, the guy's been
He's
in complete moron for the longest time.
Again, you'd have to be stupid to do that too. You know what I mean? It's just a complete negligent.
Right. But the funny thing is Hollywood, the Screen Actors Guild Award, all of them people are all coming to his defense. Okay? The Screen Actors Guild Award, they're like, yeah, he's not responsible for nothing on set and all that shit like that. I don't know who this guy put a lot of his knee pads on for, but these people are like behind him. You know what I mean? This it couldn't have been his fault and all that stuff. There's negligence on his part all around, guys. You know what I mean? I don't think that he checked out the girl's credentials, that she got kicked off another set for firing live ammos around the actors and actresses. You know what I mean? So,
I don't know.
That's once again, there's negligence, like you just said. You didn't do your due diligence in hiring somebody. Or if you left those duties for somebody else, say you hired a subcontractor, well, that subcontractor you hired, everybody better pony up, man. I mean, there's no reason for that woman to be dead right now.
No. I mean, again, the bottom line is it's on him. He owns it. It's his fault. He pulled the trigger. The bullet left his hands, and it's on him.
Do you think he'll take the fall, or will he try to throw it at that girl?
I don't think it's going to matter. I think again.
Oh, what's the easiest to do? The girl that's dead?
Hey, if you hand a loaded gun to somebody,
hold up. Blaze, no, I know you're a great MD, but you're better as a DA. A dumbass.
Oh, that's awesome.
God. Wow, David.
Can I get a couple of points there, boy?
Yeah. You win tonight.
I got you down for 1.5 points.
Yeah. No, it's just sad. It's in general how the United. That was a good one. If you want to go to break, we can go to break.
Well, we gotta hold this up. We gotta hold this up for another 12 minutes, man.
What's that?
You had like this seizure in the chair. You were all over the place. That's what I'm laughing at.
The bottom line, though.
Right?
I'm excited. I'm excited today.
Yes, doesn't matter. Even if she handed him a gun, the wrong one, it still doesn't matter. Like Dee said, he didn't even have to fire it in that scene. So not only did he do it, not only did he fired it, the fact is that he didn't check, and you had live ammunition on that scene. End of story, man.
Right.
It's him.
Let's take this down another route real quick. So he does this big sob story. It's not his fault. Like Blaze said, all these people are saying it's not his responsibility. So what happens in the court of law? Because it will set precedents for maybe another case, right? What happens in a court of law with somebody dies in this manner and nothing happens, or all they get is this fussy little, probation stuff? What precedent does that set for people to enforce the law and enforce some kind of accountability for the decision you made? Because, Jamie, you say it perfectly. He made the decision in that moment in time to pull that trigger. Point blank. You own it. So what do we say for then? Because then how do you let people make precedents and then they're saying, oh, it wasn't my fault because, I don't know, I didn't know it was loaded. My homie gave me the gun. He just told me to hold it when we were robbing the bank or we're robbing the store. Yeah. I mean, kind of wild ass shit people would do to try to get away with it, though. They
Well,
would
that's
try.
yeah, exactly. I didn't know. I just pointed it
Well,
at him.
again, Faco's
Right.
on fire tonight
Come
a little
on, dude.
bit. Faco's like, look, if you build a building and you cheap out on all the supplies and a building collapses and kills everybody, who's negligent?
Yeah,
The guy who
building.
bought the materials, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So that's why Baldwin, he needs to maybe stop, or maybe this is a chance to set that precedent and say, look, you made the decision, you're responsible, this is the way it needs to go down, because everyone talks to gun violence, this and that. Well, you don't enforce any kind of law. You don't hold it to a standard, as Demas was mentioning earlier. We take shortcuts. We only give them a couple years, and we try to send them some rehab program. And then what happens? Most times out of 10, go out, come right back in. And so at what point do we start enforcing that standard, i.e. the death penalty and things of that nature?
And again, like Donnie said too, it's like, if nothing happens to this guy, what are you enforcing? What are you telling other low budget companies that do B movies and stuff like that? What are you saying to them? It's like, oh, if you accidentally shoot one of fucking your employees, don't worry about it. Yeah,
Yeah, no big deal.
You know,
just
make sure you tell everybody that you weren't the one that pulled the trigger or put the plunger down to set off the bomb. You know, come on.
Now what? To do movie scenes, you got to have accidental death insurance as part of being able to do the scene, or what? I mean, what that means you?
If you're shooting 007, I'm sure they got some accidental insurance in there.
Right.
But either way, I mean, even with that, look how many movies they do this with, and they don't have problems. So again, it boils down to him cheaping out, but at the same time, it's still him. He did it, man. So I don't know.
The responsibility piece, I can foresee, or I can agree with a lot of people saying that could be spread out across more than just Alec, though.
Yeah.
The responsibility is to make sure that weapon was cleared and everybody understood exactly what was supposed to happen, because we're dealing with live ammunition. Those responsibilities, those are shared.
How about this then? A good outcome would be that anybody that was supposed to be in charge of guaranteeing that woman's safety should be charged with something along the lines. There should be consequences for everybody in that chain. Whether you brought it, you armed it, you were supposed to clear it, and the dude who shot it, every single person along the line that had anything to do with that should get consequenced. And maybe, the next situation where this could possibly happen, all the people involved will actually give a shit and do their job.
Right,
because they know they're all going to be held accountable for it in the end.
So. Right, but you got to find some courts that are willing to do that, because it don't seem like that's reasonable right now. Because if that was the case, then there'd be a whole bunch of people in jail over this classified information being in people's garages and shit.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe we start here and move it.
That would be
branch
nice.
outwards.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Then you can say, Alec, thanks for taking one for the team, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Good job.
Thanks, buddy.
Give her an award.
That's crazy. I got a little video, guys, I want to put up just to give everybody an idea of the whole story. All that shit like that. So let's just check this out. It's a couple of minutes long. See what's happening, and then touch base on it, grab a break, and move on. I don't want to do it that way. I apologize, folks. Just give me a minute.
Here this guy goes here. Okay, hey, I'm going to tell you the thing I wanted to tell you about the VA real quick. This is where Demas was breaking it down. We were breaking it down last week about the population size, right? Come on, Blaze, you got it or what?
Yeah, I'm good.
Coming on the air with breaking news just moments ago, the New Mexico District Attorney released a statement announcing it will file involuntary manslaughter charges against actor Alec Baldwin over the 2021 fatal film set shooting of cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Baldwin was holding the prop gun on the New Mexico set of the Western titled Rust when the gun went off, killing Hutchinson. Miguel Almaguer has been covering this story and joins me now from New Mexico. What more can you tell us, Miguel?
Well, Lester, this decision has been a long time in the making. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office has been reviewing and investigating this case for over a year now, and the DA's office here in Santa Fe County has been looking at that investigation for over 3 months before officially making their decision today. As you know, Alec Baldwin will face involuntary manslaughter charges. So will Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. She was the prop master in charge of the weapons. Now, it does appear Dave Halls, the assistant director who handed Alec Baldwin that weapon and yelled out "cold gun," meaning it was safe to use, has struck a plea deal. He'll face probationary measures here in Santa Fe. Lester, this is a big investigation that has taken several agencies months to figure out. There was body camera footage that was sorted through. There was texts, phone calls, emails that were sorted through. The FBI ran the ballistics tests on the weapon that was used in the shooting. So it certainly has involved several agencies. This decision has been a long time coming, and now we know Alec Baldwin and the prop master, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, will face involuntary manslaughter charges, Lester.
All right, Miguel, let me ask you to stand by while I turn to Danny Savalos, an NBC News legal analyst. Danny, what is the bar here for involuntary manslaughter?
There are several different ways that the state can get to a conviction under the involuntary manslaughter statute in New Mexico, but really only two could possibly apply to Baldwin. One is a lawful act, which this was, using a gun on a film set, that is done in a criminally negligent manner. And that is a bit of a misnomer because what it really means is recklessness. It means the conscious disregard of a known risk. And the other option is use of a firearm in just a merely negligent manner, which means that the conduct fell below the applicable standard of care. And believe me, this will be a battle of the experts. You're going to have stunt experts, armor experts, movie set experts. You're going to have all kinds of firearm experts as well. So that may be the option that the state used because that negligence, mere negligence standard is so light. But as much as I believe that Baldwin would be charged, I think it's a misstep for the state to charge him because all these statutes deal with a weapon that someone knows to be a weapon. As far as Baldwin knew, he was handling a block of wood or a piece of plastic. He was assured by other people this is not a conventional gun. This may be one of the few cases in the history of firearms cases where you could reasonably say that somebody looking at something that looks exactly like a gun could reasonably believe it wasn't a gun. So I think it's very difficult for the state to get to beyond a reasonable doubt, and I anticipate this may result in an acquittal for Baldwin.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, you went to the biggest woke channel of them all. What did you expect?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, now you're saying he couldn't tell the difference of a real gun from a fake gun?
No, bro.
No.
There's more poop to this, man.
There was a key element in there. There was a key element in there. They said somebody in there, I can't remember exactly who, they already struck a plea deal because when they handed the gun out, they said cold gun. So in Alec Baldwin's mind, there's no bullets in this gun. I can pull the trigger. That right there is going to get him off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hot damn, Donnie. He should. I mean, he's been filming Western movies for a while.
I know that. I know that.
But he could feel that gun, man. He could feel if there's ammo in there, man.
I would. That's why I'm saying he needs to take some ownership. You know what a gun is. You've been in this industry a long time. But when you get handed something that's a cold gun, that is muscle memory for him, and that's where I'm saying they have a foot to say he shouldn't be charged, and I think he can use that to get himself off, because that could create reasonable doubt.
Well, you know what? And I thought about this. I did, and that's what I was like. You know what? You're right. But at the end of the day, dude, I still come back to the fact I don't give a shit. It's not like it was like, we're shooting this, I'm going to throw the gun at you and you're shooting. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, yeah, throw. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't playing hot potato, pull the trigger.
No.
It was, you held this gun. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And if it's, again, I don't know the whole, I didn't hear the whole shooting outside, whatever, cans, whatever. I'm sure it's true, though. I mean, you guys, I believe it.
Documented.
Then that's the whole point is like, dude, you cannot take that for granted. That's the negligent part to me. I don't care what anybody says. You have live ammunition.
I won't even go to the actual shooting. I will, as the district attorney, not Blaze's way, but the real way. Um, I would paint the scene of the environment of what was going on there, actually going on there, shooting cans, shooting birds, live ammunition. They have receipts of where somebody went to go buy that ammunition, man. All
Right.
this ammunition. And and that's all I would sell to the jury
Yeah, you
is
have to be a
the
complete
scene.
moron to pull a trigger on any firearm that was there at somebody. Whether you thought it was or not, what the hell are you thinking? That's my point. And that should be like the opening statement and the closing statement. And there's
You know what
nothing
they,
else I need to say in between.
but Alec Baldwin, his name saved him because when you have a shooting event, paper bags come out and they're wrapped around your hands to inspect the residue. I didn't see Alec Baldwin get arrested at all on this, man. Because I know if I shoot an intruder in my house, I'm going to put some duct tape on my lips, put my shit in paper bags just to be nice, and wait to get arrested.
What's
Because
that for?
it's the
Residue?
Yeah, the gun residue. They didn't do that. That was because he's Alec Baldwin.
But he ain't really nobody. He's like a poor man's George Clooney.
No. There's a little bit of pull. I could see that happening. And there's them. Hey, buddy, we're gonna come arrest you about 10 o'clock. Make sure you say bye to everybody, and we'll keep the lights off. Those kind of arrests happen, and that's probably what's gonna happen with him because of where he's at and him movies and all this other shit. So.
Because as a defense attorney, Donnie, all I'm going to say, was there any residue on his hands?
Right.
The residue would have told you if it was. I'm pretty sure analysis would have went so far to show it was a dummy or a live ball ammunition.
Right. So I guess too.
That's a good point. They didn't do none of that to him. You seen the pictures of him running around on a phone. So he's right-handed. Obviously, he shot the gun into his right hand, and he's got his cell phone in his hand calling people, oh, my God, I shot somebody. You know what I mean? Listen.
Right, but if you didn't do those tests, that's another way he's going to get off.
Right.
And he's going to do some probation and whatever.
Somebody's going to be held accountable.
But
it's not going to be Alec Baldwin. That's for damn sure. It's going to go to the next guy underneath him. That's who it's going to go to. But with that being said, listen, we'll keep everybody informed on Mr. Baldwin. I don't know if that night he called his daughter up again. He called her a pig on the answering machine and, all those things like that, because that's the type of guy that Alec Baldwin is. He's a model citizen. With that being said, stick around for more The Way We See It, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in about a minute or so. And, stick around. When we come back, we're going to do what Donnie loves to do most, and we're going to talk about the House Republicans and the bill on abolishing the IRS is 1,000 guys and all of that stuff like that. Look at him. He's excited right now. So listen, we'll be right back with more of The Way We See It right after messages.
Hey guys, Nick Parsons here. Come check my show Unbox Thoughts out. Live every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. on the FFN Radio Network page.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Neutral Corner on FFN Media. Every Thursday night, 7 to 8, catch my show live. We are talking with legends, we're talking with professionals, we're talking with amateurs, we're also talking about gyms and different programs they have. You can catch us live on FFN Media, 7 to 8 p.m. Not only can you catch us live, you you can actually ask questions in the comments and interact with our guests. Hope to see you then.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for sticking around for more of The Way We See It. Uh, and bring the boys back in. All right, so look, here's the deal. House Republicans to vote on a bill, um, not to abolish the IRS, but to hopefully stop the IRS from robbing from the poor. Because to me, that's what it seems that the IRS likes to go after the most. You know what I mean? Is the family man or family woman that works hard for a living just to get along in life and try to have a good life with their kids and all that stuff like that. And for me, it just seems like the IRS likes to mess around with them people because they know they could scare the living shit out of them. You know what I mean? Anybody else that makes a decent amount of money can hire a decent lawyer, can maybe fight this stuff. But, the average family that makes about maybe, if lucky, mother and father working $90,000 a year, you know what I mean, can't go ahead and do that. So with that being said, we'll break this open with Mr. Donnie.
No, well, to answer your question about the average income, it's 2021 stats was 75K. So those are those that made 75K or above 75K. On average, they paid 14.6% in interest rates. And this is important for a minute here.
Taxes.
That's about the top 50% of the population of taxpayers earning money. The bottom 50%, they paid about 3.4% per person. That's the average, right? Or per taxpayer. So your upper class is 75K and above, 50% of the taxes. And so what the Republicans are trying to do, it's called what they call the Fair Tax Act of 2021. They're trying to revamp this thing. And what this thing does, it takes all the taxes and it's pretty much, it eliminates it. It says this bill imposes a national sales tax on the use or consumption in the United States of taxable property or services in lieu of the current income taxes, payroll taxes, and estate and gift taxes. They come to a rate of 23% is what they take, right? Because on average for 2021, most Americans kept 77, about 80% of their income was disposable to them. The other 20% went to taxes for everything. So that's what they want to do. But I got questions about that, because what becomes, you say, taxable property. So if you're taking, say, 25%, you're taking 25% of everything that I consume. So when I pay my bills, that's consuming dollars? Or is it just when I go to certain places like grocery stores or stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? Where does that really pan out is what's consumable. And then the other part of it, though, is too, they put in exemptions for use in intangible property, for property or services purchases for businesses, export or investment purposes, and for state and government functions. So they're consuming the same dollars and resources, these government functions, as me and you. So why are they not paying taxes? That's another question I would have. If you're going to do a consumption tax and only tax me on what I consume, I mean, you guys tell me, open it up.
Yeah. Well, what do you, so does that mean when I go to the grocery store, that's what you're talking about? Or is it, what else is considered consumable? Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot to talk about there, but I don't know. The bill that I read says that it does want to actually abolish the IRS, Blaze.
No, that's part of it. Yeah, they're part of it.
Yeah, they want to get rid of it.
Reenact
so that your taxes are paid through consumables. But I mean, in that case too, then you to me, you're definitely going to screw the little guy. They're going to get fucked even worse.
Exactly.
Now the people who don't actually pay taxes already now will have to actually pay taxes. But at the same time, I don't really know how that makes sense, because they're getting the money from taxpayers. So I don't know how that all plays out, if you know what I mean.
Right, but that, to me, that just leaves it for, he said, for state functions, investment purposes. Well, most of the rich are making their money for investments. So that sounds like you're not going to tax them. You're taxing people that work. And it just sounds like you made it bigger for exemptions because you're vague in what applies as an exemption. So they get away with more. That's just another way for people to, hide their money. How are you going to say about cash? Jim, I pay you $50 cash for whatever you do for me, or whatever part. Who's to say that? What part?
Yeah.
Who's to say if your end it was $5? What are you talking about? It wasn't 50. I didn't make that.
Yeah.
How are you going to hide that?
I guess that's the point, though, because then you wouldn't have to hide that, because when you do spend it on your consumable, then you're gonna pay taxes anyway. So it opens up every drug dealer to pay taxes.
But Donnie,
because when you transfer money to me, no matter what, if you spend that money, it's going to be taxable.
Right.
Whereas
who's reporting that I'm spending this money? Where is this information going to if you abolish the IRS? So where's that information going to? Who is there to enforce that I pay taxes on that money?
Well, there'll have to be something.
U.S. Treasury.
Right.
Yeah, when you go and just like now, you go and purchase food and whatever, your tax gets paid to that state.
Right. So here's another example of what I thought had too. Say it usually takes you $40 to fill your tank. If they go and they say, hey, we're not going to do this tax thing anymore, the business guy's not going to change the price of gas, because then he's got to consume money to buy that gas. So you're taxing him. Then you're going to tax me on buying that gas. So to me, it seems like you're taxing me twice on the same gas. So now my $40 tank now became $50 because you're taking 25% of it anyway. And every research, and you start looking it up, England did this, and that's why last time I checked, that's why people left England and came to America, was because of taxation like this.
Whoa.
I'm just saying.
OG.
So
but Donnie,
it destroys an economy. It destroys a civilization.
Hey, but wait a minute. Let's not forget the states. Well, they're going to have their claws in taxes too. You know what?
Well, that's who
What
you'd
do
be
we-
paying it to. Basically, it'd be state tax.
It wouldn't go to the government.
Oh yeah, no. Of course, it's going to go to the government.
Oh,
But I
okay.
mean, it's the state, I believe, that's going to collect it from you. Meaning, when you go and buy whatever you buy at the store, you get that whatever tax they're going to call it. So I'm not sure if it goes to the state or it goes directly to the federal government, but there is going to be something that's going to have to collect it and monitor it. You know what I mean? They would never know how much.
Yeah.
That's where their budgets come from. So they need to know how much revenue they're going to get. The other thing too, part of it, didn't it say that it was going to cancel corporate taxes as well?
No.
Whoa. Put that cat down, Donnie.
I did.
Hey, is it dinner time at your house, buddy?
Yeah, he's wanting to jump on my shoulder. I said, hell no. But no, it doesn't say anything about getting rid of the corporate tax or anything like that. It talks about payroll taxes. That's what corporations can get rid of. But once again, how do you tax corporations? Because are they consuming the product? Are they buying the product, or is the contractor buying the product? Because to them, they just paid the contractor to do a service. So I only need to, be responsible for taxes on the 75K. I don't need to be responsible for any products he bought to do the services for me. But, somebody else might try to fudge that in. That's, you know what I'm saying? So how do corporations get taxed?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
There's a lot of things to figure out right there. And it even says in the thing about, the states are responsible for sending the money to the treasury. But then you go back to, it's going to give you credits for having a family. So I go back to the filing of taxes thing. Are you taking 23% and I get something in return because I still have to file, tax paperwork like I do now? Or are you just taking what I consume and I'm not getting no money back?
Yeah. Well, again, I don't see what the whole point is at the end of the day.
But
you're still going to have to file taxes and do all this shit. So what's the difference? I mean, other than, again, the lower man on the totem pole is going to get screwed even more than they were before.
So,
that's the only thing I see.
Right. Because if you remember those numbers of 3.4% was their tax rate on average per taxpayer. You jump that up to 23%. My taxes just went up 20%. Yeah, you're going to break me. Small business going to die.
Yeah.
There's no way I could afford those taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, but I guess that's the point I'm making is like, what's the end game then? Who wins out of this?
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Is it just the wealthiest people that win because then they're not paying all the extra taxes that they would be other than, I mean, they're going to generally consume more than I would just because they have the money to. But I think overall, in the end, they're going to be paying less.
Probably so. So, yeah, I just don't understand how they think that but this is like gaining serious traction around Congress right now is to do something about this because their intentions are that they don't need more IRS agents and they want less government control and all this other shit. But I just really don't understand how this is beneficial to us because you're just going to put it more on the small guy like you do now. And it's an easier way for politicians to extract money probably.
Well, the other thing too, I mean, we're talking about the deficit we have and worrying about the debt ceiling now. I honestly can't imagine that you'd be able to extract the same amount of revenue that they do now from a smaller group of people who make and spend less. So I don't really know how it would work. Not that I'm all for taxing people who make more money. I'm not saying that. I mean, I don't even think they should be taxed with their tax now as it is. But I think it will.
What's it like, 40%? Something like that?
He was just telling you.
I didn't hear him.
How did you not hear me? He said it twice.
I'm busy working. Don't question me. Just answer the question. What's it like, 40% or something?
Oh, shit.
We were talking about it was split in half. 50% were above 75K, 50% were below it.
Yeah,
That's
if you were
insane.
above the 50% mark, making 75K or more, you said it was 14%, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they pay
All right.
like 14%.
So the 50% of Americans that make 75,000 or more are paying upwards of 14% and upwards of that. So that's a shit ton of money. The 50% below that were paying 3%.
Three and a
Is that what you
half.
said?
3.5
3.5%.
on average.
So now the 50% that are below that are going to get plugged in the ass, and everything they try to buy is going to have a 25% tax rate on it. And the people above now don't have to pay that 14%. They're only going to pay the 25% on what they consume. But generally speaking, that's probably less because they don't purchase as much as they probably pay in taxes. So it's going to lower the revenue flowing into the government, and at the same time, screw the people who make less money.
Yeah,
I don't see how
exactly.
it's a win for anyone other than people who are rich.
I don't know, but that's what the article and that's what their big theory is behind this: abolish the IRS, less government control. Because in their minds, what they're telling and what they're trying to sell to the lower 50% is, well, you don't consume as much. You're not the big fancy rich guy that throws parties every other weekend and blah blah blah, right? You don't consume as much. You're gonna pay less taxes, therefore you'll have more income in your hands, because that income in their hands is vital, when they're scraping by to get through for a couple of days, till payday. So
Yeah, but in reality, it's bullshit.
Yeah, in reality, it's bullshit because half of them that are making that kind of money, let's be honest, if you look at the statistics and you look at the data, they're less educated people than the ones making the 75K.
Again, you can take
and a lot of them are immigrants that just don't understand the system here, so they take advantage of it.
Yeah, well, here's the other side though. Here's what the only spots where we'll benefit, but it's not, to me, it's just not. It ain't going to offset the cost. Like illegal immigration. Illegal immigrants is another one. So illegal immigrants, drug dealers, anybody who does anything that they don't file taxes for, they're now going to pay that tax rate of 25%. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to actually be paying taxes like the rest of the people. I don't know how to say it. Explain it.
No.
Clarence.
They're not.
Yeah, they will have to, because if you say you make 30 grand a year, right?
Yeah, but
all of a sudden now you're only paying 3% of your income, right? That's like what, fucking $3 grand, whatever the hell it is. Hold on. Now everything you buy has 25 cents added on to every dollar. So your grocery bill now is going to be 25% higher. So that's probably more than by the end of the year, that's going to be more than the $3 grand you were paying in taxes. You're going to pay more. But if you're an illegal immigrant and you've never paid a dime in taxes, now when you go to purchase something, you're paying 25%. So you actually are paying taxes now. But it's only for the people who do things illegally, like illegal immigrants, drug dealers, and people who make less money is actually going to be the ones who feel it the most. Where the guys who make a shit ton of money are going to be like, fucking sweet. The only thing I got to pay taxes on now is my new car. You know what I mean? And they bank the rest of the money.
Wake up, boys.
Exactly.
I'm here, man. I'm just, you see the nice ticker down the bottom and stuff. I'm doing my job.
Yeah, no, it looks good. I haven't got a chance to read it yet because I can't think and talk at the same time. I mean, read and talk.
You can't read and talk at the same time.
You can't do a lot of things at the same time.
Hey, Clarence, you've been a little quiet tonight. You want to kick in over here?
No, shit. No, Donnie brings up, about hiding tax dollars and stuff like that. That's what people do now. You ever go to these little restaurants and stuff, and they won't even ring up the bill. They know it in their head, 1173. Really, it was 1584. Oh, I'm serious, man.
Yeah, no, I know.
Doing it. All these little shortcuts you're talking about, they're doing it now, bro. What's gonna eradicate, the double standard? It's hard, bro. It's hard. I'm guilty.
Yeah.
But what?
Well, that also
Guilty
comes
of what,
down
demons?
to
No,
that.
that I'm a real good DA.
There you
Okay.
go, dumbass.
Yeah.
Listen,
No, but no, let's think about it. Demons makes a point. It goes back into that cash system. You push more things into the black market cash system, and I'll be the first one to admit it. Hell yeah, say you had 5K. Somebody bought some product for 5K cash, laid it on the table. Hey, walked out the door with it. That 5K ain't getting told to nobody.
right,
Nobody.
right.
Yes, the
Well,
consumption tax will
Well,
get me, and through the, when I consume that money, I'll pay the taxes that way. But when I go consume some of that for, like, say, the new product that only cost me 2,500, well, that's for a business purpose now. So I'm not paying taxes on that 2,500.
Oh
right.
no, I
man.
see
And I
that, but
can
I'm
wash
talking
money
about.
all day like that, bro.
Oh, no, no, no,
Hey,
yeah, no, no, yeah, no, no. I know what you're saying, but so you're telling me you're going to go into like a convenience store and just pay cash, and they're not going to report it?
Got a lot of people with money under their mattresses. That's for damn sure.
But
I'm
but
just
I guess
saying,
you got. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing my own point. You can't go to a store and purchase something with money that you're not going to pay that tax on.
right? No, you're going to pay the consumption tax, yes. But the business owner that takes that product and that 5K you gave him cash, he's
Yeah.
only paying 20 taxes on $2,500 of that because maybe that's an exemption, or maybe he gets the whole 5K tax free. So
Well, I don't know
he
the
should
other
have
side of
paid
it. Yeah,
some. He
but
should have paid
I'm
some
talking
tax
about
when
the
he bought the
consumer, not
product.
the dude who's selling it, though.
But
They're
the
always
business
going
guy
to
that
make out. They
the
always
biz,
win.
yeah, but the business guy that buys from the supplier, he's no different. He's a consumer of that product because he sells it. So why is he not paying those same taxes I got to pay on that product?
That's a good
Or
point, Donnie.
why are
yep.
those taxes not shared?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because
We don't.
isn't
Is that?
that
I don't know
allowing
that
that
that's
to
what it
drive it into
says.
me?
They said investments in what was the other thing?
I
Investment
mean,
purposes or any services, business, substance, all that stuff.
Yeah, well, right now they don't pay taxes on it anyway. Like if I
Yes,
have
they
a
do. Yes,
business
they
and
do.
I buy product, I buy materials, I buy anything for that business, I don't pay taxes on it.
Because you don't pay what, state taxes, or
No, because it's a
because you're
government contract.
right,
No, no,
right.
no. In any business, I don't pay
No,
state taxes.
oh yes,
Oh,
you do.
yeah, you do. If
Yeah,
you
you
buy
do,
in,
bro.
if you buy in
When I go in
brooms,
somewhere into a Home Depot and I have my company card and I go boom, it goes on a company account. I don't pay taxes for that. I don't pay taxes for it.
no, you.
But
n-
go
So
ahead, dude.
what's the difference when
I
supermarkets buy food and shit? They're not paying
all right.
taxes on
Okay,
that. You
Jim.
are.
Let Clarence
Go
get an
ahead.
answer
Go
in
ahead.
here. Go ahead.
no. Where are we at with the money, right?
Yes.
I want to say one thing. I experienced a high value added tax in Germany in the late '90s, and and what would happen if you wanted to buy something downtown over $100? You go to the army office, they give you a form, so it exempts you when you buy it. But dude, that was 21% in the
Wow.
'90s, and I'm pretty sure. And Donnie, you're talking and I'm listening, and and it seems like it's the same way it was in Germany. I think they're trying to copycat. Ein
Yeah,
sprechen Sie Deutsch, bitte.
no,
Sprechen
Yeah.
speak
die
All
good
right.
Deutsch.
Deutsch.
For instance, if I own a
My
business where
Lucius. My
let's say
Lucius.
I fix lawnmowers or some shit, for instance. If I have a business, I have an EIN number. I can go into any company and purchase a shit ton of stuff and go put this on. There's my number, boom, and all I pay is face value of that product. I do not pay state taxes on it. When I sell it to my customer, they pay the state tax on it because
That's
I
not,
mark it up, do whatever I do. It is.
Jim.
That's how I ran a
That's
business for like
It's
2 years.
Jim.
it's
But,
confusing, and
but,
I believe part of the bill is you just get rid of that. You know what I mean?
but
Might be a little bit left field, Donnie. You got it as soon as I'm done. This might be a little bit to the left field, but isn't that the concern that the Biden administration wanted the IRS to spy on anybody who deposited more than $600 a week or something
Yes.
to that effect into their bank account?
Yes, sir.
No,
Yes.
no, they didn't want that.
No?
They
They wanted
Yeah.
they wanted
Okay.
transactions over $600 because that was something where they can connect and try to gather more tax revenue from gig working and all this other stuff. But to
Blaze.
answer Jim's points real quickly, like in Texas where they have no state taxes, guess
Stairs
what?
and
You have to
clear.
have a tax-free statement and it has to be signed in order for you to be tax-free on that business. You still pay service charges and some other stuff as a business as your EIN. You just can't take it down to business and do that. You got to have an account with them and you got to give them a duty-free or tax-free statement. So it's not the same everywhere.
All right.
So that's what I'm
That's
saying.
fine.
There's something either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, I thought the whole $600 thing was their reasoning for it was to, whatever, cocktails, terrorists or whatever, and trying to keep track of the money. Because it's like if they follow anything that's deposited over $600, they're sitting there and like, oh, where did that $600 come from? You know what I mean? So no, when I get paid, you know what I mean? I take some of my pay, a good chunk of it, and put it in my wife's account. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, are they gonna fuck with me down the road because I'm taking money from my account and just transferring it over to my wife's account?
Get a security box, Blaze.
Yeah, right, brother. I hear you, man.
But is it the same?
No, no, Donnie. The point I'm trying to make, and shit, a security deposit box. Why do I know that? Because I know people, family members that hide their money in
Yeah,
a fucking
yeah.
security box. You know, are them 87,000 IRS agents gonna bust security boxes open and say, "Hey,
No. See,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
no, we
D,
don't know,
D, I'm with
Donnie.
you.
We don't
D,
know."
I don't know
No,
because hey, at one
no.
point they want to arm these fuckers. They want to put guns in
No,
their hands.
my lordy. That
Eh,
was for, you know what they're trying to arm them? Is to work with law enforcement when they're going to seize property. Not all them 87,000 workers were going to be toting pistols and shotguns around. There was a few select ones that go in that. The rest of them were going into the people to start doing the audits, the forensic guys that have CPAs and all these high financial degrees and certifications. And some of it was for cyber stuff, so they
Well,
can go in there and get into their overseas and track where they're transferring money in and out, just like you're saying.
Donnie,
They're
do me a
using their wife
sanity
for
check.
that. So
Do me a sanity check, Donnie.
come on now,
So,
get right with that though.
yeah,
It wasn't all
okay.
for some bullshit like that.
Listen,
You good?
again, Crispy Falco here in the comments. It seems like a good point. He said, "How did we go from trying to arm the IRS now to try and get rid of them?"
Exactly.
Republicans came in.
Yeah,
Yeah, touche.
Republicans
that's it.
came in. But okay, getting back.
We got to
Where
take a
we
break,
at?
guys. Hold your
God
thought, D.
damn it.
Sorry, brother, but we're a couple of minutes over from taking that break. Ladies and gentlemen, stick around for the last segment of The Way We See It right here on FFN Radio Network. We'll be right back. Short break, ladies and gentlemen, about a minute and a half.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Neutral Corner on FFN Media. Every Thursday night, 7 to 8, catch my show live. We are talking with legends, we're talking with professionals, we're talking with amateurs, we're also talking about gyms and different programs they have. You can catch us live on FFN Media, 7 to 8 p.m. Not only can you catch us live, you can actually ask questions in the comments and interact with our guests. Hope to see you then.
Hey guys, Nick Parsons here. Come check my show Unbox Thoughts out. Live every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. on the FFN Radio Network page.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking around for more of The Way We See It with yours truly, Blazeman, Mr. D, Mr. Jim. Mr. Donnie will be right back to join us here. We were touching base on the IRS. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I mean, I got a lot of reading to do, because you guys are just popping shit out, and I'm like, look at this. I got some smart motherfuckers on here. But anyways, my thing is it a good idea to abolish? Is it a good idea? Welcome back, Donnie. Um, is it a good idea to abolish the IRS, and what replaces it? D.
No, I think we still need the IRS. We just got to have a big shift in a mentality shift. But you see, and this is what I was going to lead with Donnie before the break, and I'm glad I remember this. So you look at these major corporations; they all have an accountant department, and the guy or gal in there is probably what's a financial institution that pumps out accountants in the United States?
Wall Street.
No,
I have no idea.
no. But no, the point I'm trying to make is that you got these seasoned pro accountants guarding these accountants and knowing these things, and you're going to hire 87,000 with the basic knowledge of accounting on a 4-year degree, while these eh, am I making sense, Donnie? You're trying to get a little rookie, trying to get a pro on a mistake. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Even President Trump said, "I knew the tax laws, and that's where I made my money." He was around.
Exactly.
He was around smart people, bro.
Right.
Smart
But
people. The
but
government
you
doesn't have smart people. Go
Hi,
ahead.
Demas. Demas,
They don't.
just like you weren't smart when you started out first in the army either. You weren't smart. You were stupid, just like me. Through time, I
Uh,
got a lot better, right? Yeah,
yeah,
you got better
but
through time. You learn. Guess
wait a
what? Guess
minute.
what? They do the same thing. They do the same thing. And there's a process in there somewhere where somebody
Don't
with one of
poke
them
fun,
seasoned guys,
Clarence.
one of the seasoned guys or gals, or whatever gender name they want to go by, one of them seasoned ones, they're going to find one. They're going to pay that one enough money to break away from that corporation and come work for the government because they're going to offer them a better retirement package. And that's
I
where
don't.
it's going to get reviewed, and all that training would go, Demas. So
Nope.
don't you know that? You
No,
know
no.
that would happen.
I
And you
no,
would catch
it's
people.
called, and it's not being smart or anything. It's having common sense and evaluating the situation around you.
Right.
That's the point I'm trying to make. These IRS agents are clowns to these guys running these big companies. They are,
Yeah, but
bro.
you know what? When I
They
got 20
are.
people
Look at
looking at
Donald
it,
Trump.
oh Lordy, Demas, you done? You gonna listen for a minute?
No, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you've been
No, you're not
interrupting
gonna
me.
listen. Then
No,
why
you've been
should I talk?
interrupting me. Go ahead, man. Go, bro.
Okay. Are you done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I have 10 people looking at the same piece of paper, the same documents, guess what? I get 10 different views to your one. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna get you. That's what those agents are gonna do. They're gonna do some of that. And if they catch enough in the first 5 years to pay for their salaries, guess what? It's a positive thing.
But
Because that means it forces people to start abiding by the tax laws, and maybe somehow they take that information and they figure out how to change the tax laws to better catch people. You got to think there's more than just the immediate little money in dollars. This is an investment into some long term to generate dollars.
No, you're the one that opened this up with people cheating the system on buying
I'm just
parts
telling you
and
what's supposed to
restaurants.
go
You know
on.
what I mean?
And that's what's going to happen.
I
That's
don't.
what's going to happen if you go to this consumption stuff. You're just going to push it to black market, and then to go back to cash. And good luck finding some of that.
Yeah.
I'm done.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. You sit there and you hear it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are screaming, "Yeah, get rid of the IRS, get rid of the IRS." Listen, the government's never going to stop taking your tax money, people. So you
No.
got to relax a
No,
little bit.
and
That
You know what I
that should
mean?
be a red flag. I mean, if
Yeah.
know,
You know?
Look
I
at
don't
the
know.
numbers. Look at the numbers. The bottom 50% about 20%, their taxes go up. The top 50%, they're only going up about 10%. That's a big difference for that low end person. And when you're struggling just to make rent, you add that many more taxes to me, I'm going under. Then you're at a point where if I'm on government assistance, I'm better off. Then really
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean?
So
you quit your job and get some food stamps. You know what I mean?
Nobody,
you don't got to. You don't got to worry about taxes then. You know what I mean?
Well, then again,
everybody else is giving you money.
But it only makes everything worse, dude. That's what I'm saying. I don't see a good end for that, because then all the people that were borderline on the dole are now pushed right into the system, and that only makes the tax burden even heavier. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
I was just reading Faco's comment. He says Biden's tax laws was on Sesame Street for the letters 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. I don't understand how they could think this could actually help the American public. And then, saying how they say tax with provisions that work for the American people, encourage growth and innovation. I don't know if this Mr. Carter person, but don't sound like that shit's gonna happen in the way I see
more in there.
Hey, I see a maneuver move though on this, because Biden won't sign this, will not.
No.
But if McCarthy gives him 50,000 agents, I think that'll move the needle.
Maybe.
So you think that's what the discussion will be? The agents?
Oh, I see it. I see it on your ticker, man. I'm seeing the numbers, and I'm thinking McCarthy, House Republicans. Yeah, man. That's just common sense. That's not education, okay?
Right.
But another thing that they were trying to hold this hostage to was so that they could get the Democrats to the table about the debt ceiling. And the Democrats are over there saying, we're not going to talk about it. Raise it. No. You need to talk about it and do some cuts in spending.
Let's get let's start up a couple of more printing machines. You know what I mean? And
the treasury, Janet
Yellen. Let's kill the dollar some more.
Did you see that, Donnie? Janet Yellen talking about printing platinum coins, 1 trillion of them.
For what? Just for the fun of it?
No, to generate bills to come back into the treasury.
Well, really? What was her name?
Yeah. Janet Yellen.
Yeah, she's the same one that's telling them if by about midsummer, if you don't do something about this debt ceiling, we're gonna come to a point where we can't pay our bills. Where we lose the credit and all this stuff. She's some Treasury Department head lady,
Secretary of Treasury.
Yeah. She's the same one that's saying that, and she talked about that before when they want to keep fighting about stuff. Remember back when the service when we didn't get paid that last time, or was it early 2000s? I think where we went through that stretch where we didn't get paid. That's when they couldn't fulfill their obligations. That's part of why they didn't raise the debt ceiling and they didn't come to an agreement on a budget. So there went that government shutdown crap.
It's nice how they go after the veterans first, right?
So that's where they're trying to play hostage with some of this too, because there needs to be cuts in spending. It's just too much. Like one guy that fought with the PACT Act and the slush funds. There's too many slush funds out there just letting people soak dollars out of it. Can't afford it no more.
It's sickening already. Yep, it's out of hand.
Oh, that's another reason why. Well, go ahead.
I got a little poll question. So you go into the VA and you ask for a shot. They tell you to sit down. The clock is ticking. 10 minutes. Okay, that's cool. 15. Okay, that's cool. One veteran just goes off and calls the place junk. And I'm like, I'll go to 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I went up there, man, and they forgot me. They forgot about me. Is that a standard? I mean, is that what a vet is supposed to accept? Wait half hour for a 2-minute fucking shot?
Yes.
No, I'm serious, and I even have the recording. I sent it to Donnie because I recorded my conversation. What's that, bro?
I'm dead serious. Yes, you're supposed to hurry up and wait. That
Nope.
is never leaving you.
Nope.
That's the mentality.
Nope. Nope.
That's the
Nope.
mentality.
No, that's the standard of care you get here at the El Paso VA. At no, dude, at other Providence comes to mind. I hear nothing but good things coming out of there. Blaze, can you deal with that?
No, that's fine. You get nothing but good things. But at a VA treatment facility, yeah, you better hurry up and wait because
No, not this fucker.
they're not on your schedule. You're on theirs. And if they want to sit there and talk, then they're going to sit there and talk.
Nope.
Bare
Nope.
minimum is the standard, Demas.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
Not for me. Yeah, and I understand, Donnie, but I'm kind of done with them.
That's why a lot of people are done with them, and they're once again, people are clamoring about privatizing TRICARE and all that.
Jim,
and, go out on the community.
Would you wait 30 minutes at Walgreens for a shot?
No. I'd make some noise in about 15.
Yeah, I think that's not the hoarding level, but that's the comfort level. Hey, go up there, talk nice, and see what happens.
Yeah, at least start. Yeah. Not going berserk or anything, but I would definitely be asking some questions, especially if you have, if you have, was it an appointment, like a walk-in type?
No, it was my intent when I talked to the lady, I says, I'd like to make an appointment for my shingles shot.
Yeah.
It says, oh, sit down. So I'm thinking 10 minutes. And Jim, if I'm lying, I'm dying. This older vet came up next while I was sitting down, and Lisinopril, he ran out, and he needed his doctor to just jam it. Something that could happen 1 minute on a computer.
Yeah. Boom.
Oh, sir, have a seat. And he's like, no, I'm not having a seat. I want my medicine. And he was like in his 60s, and they moved a little, but not that care. And the reason why I'm talking, this fucking VA just lost a soldier, a veteran, 2 weeks ago, shot himself in the head in the parking lot.
No, Jesus, is that the thing you had sent me? That's the,
yes, yeah, man.
Hold on. We're just speaking about that because I dubbed you the VA liaison here, and we got to take a liaison. Yeah, the mic cut out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So then we'll go there. We'll watch Sesame Street together another time, there, pal. Look, I'd like for you to touch a little bit a base on that again. Look, getting back to Lisinopril, man. I'll tell you something right now. You don't got that shit, and you don't take that on time, and about 3 or 4 hours go by. I mean, you're having some problems. Trust me, I know. I take it.
What is it?
It's a beta blocker for your heart, bro. It helps with high blood pressure and tells your heart, hey, this is how you're supposed to beat. So if you don't take it on time, your body recognizes it's not there. Your heart starts beating faster. Thus, you start having a fucking panic attack, and you think you're dying. You know what I mean? So trust me. D, if you don't mind, I wanted to touch base on a VA today. I apologize. I didn't have it in our tonight's show. But I did want to touch base on that tonight. So go ahead.
I just wanted to gauge the crowd. That was it, man.
No, I wanted to answer something to what you were saying, Demas. Your comparison with Walgreens and VA is like apples and oranges.
Oh.
You can't compare those. And hear me out on this. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out on this.
Throw a pear at you. How's that?
Come on now. Come on, throw a pear. You done flapping your gums? You ready to listen or no?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Spit it out.
Okay. So this is why
Donnie's like the fucking new school teacher. Shut up, class. I'm talking. Go ahead.
I'm just asking. Walgreens has to make a profit. The VA does not.
I understand that, but also, but wait a minute. When you go into Walgreens as a veteran, you slam the TRICARE on them, and they take care of you just like a regular patient. 5-10 minutes, you're out.
Right.
Walgreens made a couple of dollars off TRICARE on that shot.
Oh, they're making some money.
Yeah, come on.
Right, because once I just said they have to make money. VA does not. So the people that work up in the VA places, Demas, you know as well as I do. People wait for those type of appointments. But once they get in there, You've known some people that worked there. They weren't working there. Once they got up in that VA hospital, they ain't do shit no more.
Yep.
They
Yeah,
gained
you're right.
40 pounds and they was just sitting around doing nothing. They up there walking around with canes like the rest of everybody else. Because they just went up there and they sat on their ass and there was no enforcement. There's no standard. And who cares? What's going to happen? Oh, a veteran goes off and now I can easily say he's having a PTSD moment or something and security can escort you off and you can be a domestic terrorist.
They didn't.
I'm just saying, that's how easy it is now.
Yeah,
So
I
know
know that.
Why do they have any reason to get up and move with a purpose for you? Why?
30 minutes? It took them 30 minutes to move for a purpose? That's jacked up. That's jacked up.
I'm not denying
they
that
fucking forgot about me, Donnie.
Exactly.
They fucking
You're
forgot
right. You're
about
right.
me.
But,
You know?
right.
And all it was, no, hear me out. All it was a Skype message from the chick in the front to the chick in the back. Hey, you got this veteran needs a shingle shot. He belongs to your group. Have him wait. I went up there, and the other lady's like, "Oh shoot."
So did you end up leaving and going somewhere else?
I told him 5 minutes, and I held the timer there. I says, "Not 5 minutes. You have a great day."
Right.
Yeah.
And you know,
D.
No.
no,
Now,
fuck 'em.
You know, look, man, I go to drugstore. It's not, there's no VA involved here, but listen, that's what we're talking about. I go to the drugstore, and I get there, and I'll be like, look, my doc called a prescription in. Did you get it? And in the meantime, my doctor called a prescription in like 6 hours earlier. Okay, I get there, and I say, doc calling a prescription. Did you get it? Oh yeah, Mr. St. Pierre. It's not ready yet, but it'll be done shortly. And I'm like, well, how long? Whatever. Half hour, whatever. Okay, well, I'll be back. The drugstore I go to is not too far from my house. I'm like, okay, I'll be back. As I'm fucking driving home, I get a text message. Hey, your prescription's ready.
Okay, so what that has to do with, once again, though, everything you guys are talking about is
wait a
private
minute. What it
medicine.
has to do, Donnie.
Ray.
Wait. Come on, man. Just give me this. What it has to do, Donnie, is if I'm there, are they making me wait the fucking 30 minutes? If I'm there? Because as soon as I walk out the door, I'm not even 5 minutes away from the place, Donnie, and they're fucking texting me saying your prescription's ready.
No, the point is they're making money.
No.
They have a reason to do it.
They have a reason to do it. All the private industry has a reason to do that. And that's care, and that's loyalty. I'm going back to them because look how quickly they get done for me. Because there's a business side to the private care as well. And they have to build it. It's like government sales or any other sales industry. I have to make a customer base. Well, you're a customer base. I got to find ways to advertise the market and bring you in, keep you loyal. They have a reason to make it quick. At the VA, they have no reason to make it quick.
Well, here's the other thing, though, right?
No, you're right. No, Donnie, you're right. But that's based on an individual's interpretation. When I go in there, yes, Donnie.
Here's my question then.
I'm just telling you.
It's just a little different.
Those guys aren't, it's not money driven. How do you change that? It's a mentality thing more than anything at that point.
Right.
So I mean, like, in other words, when you go to a hospital, generally speaking, even like these nurses and stuff, they don't make enough money, but they're there because they care about the people they're there to care for. So how do you change that mentality in a VA then? Because those are the people who, at that point, they're getting their paycheck no matter what, and they're not there to make money. They're supposed to be there to help you. Why don't they? Like, how do we fix that? I mean, there's no reason why that lady couldn't have been, oh, hey, how you doing? Yep. 2 minutes, boom, you're in and you're out. Why does it have to be the way it is?
You got to change policy. Good luck changing policy on the VA side. How far that has to go up the food chain. You got to change policies. Because the nurse practitioner that, I send my messages to, all she is a relay machine. It's like, I send it to you, Jim. Jim sends it to Demas because Demas is my doctor. And then Demas has to send it for Blaze to write the prescription.
Yes.
All that has to occur in a VA probably, And I know that for a fact from secure messaging myself. Oh, I'll forward it to the doctor. Well, why the fuck did I send it to you in the first? Have the doctor answer this shit, you know?
No.
That's who I wanted to talk to originally.
Because
That's part of what has to happen too, because of stupid ass rules and policies.
That's a team email. The doctor doesn't answer them emails. It's some nurses in there.
Right. But when I go start asking for care, then she can't do that. So maybe she can't give me my prescription. The doctor has to do that, but then the doctor has to get it checked off by, Blaze over there.
Yeah.
That's how it works a little bit in the government.
Yeah.
Because then it's oversight, it's transparency, and whatever.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because it's done stupidly. You know, I mean, I don't know if you were like, oh, this is available for you, and you can come in at this time and get a shot. Like, why wouldn't that be the way it works? Not I got to go there and then wait for a half hour for 8 people to talk about it for them to get clearance to do it. Like,
but
I don't know.
I did make mention at my introductory with her that I was under the impression I'd made an appointment. All I wanted was an appointment, and I would have came back the next day, better yet, next month, to get the shot.
Whatever. Instead of waiting. So how do you fix it? So how do you fix it though? I know you're saying policy, but like, how do you get that ball rolling? I thought before it was like a money thing, and all that. And I thought Trump was supposed to have helped throw the veteran and the VA some money and funds and stuff like that. Nothing ever got better during that time either.
I don't know.
It got worse, bro.
You know, did it?
It got worse. Yeah,
I don't follow. You know what I mean?
I don't want
to. You guys would know.
It hits a fucking nerve with me when it comes to our veterans because they're here, everybody else is here. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, you got poor fucking guys out there just putting guns to their fucking heads and ending it because they're just not getting the fucking care that they need and they deserve. So that's just it. That's the way I feel about it, and it's bullshit. That's all it is. It's bullshit.
Well, what have you heard of that Providence facility there with the veterans used to hang with?
But they always complained about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always complained about it. You know what I mean? And most of the time, and this is, I can speak from the truth because I did hear it a lot. Like, you know how guys like to talk when they got a few in them. So I've heard a lot of stories and a lot of things. That was their biggest thing, man. Wait. They always had to wait. You know what I mean? There was one veteran that he, lost his arm from his elbow or whatever, right? And he's showing everybody how it's infected in that area. You know what I mean? And he can't get a fucking appointment for like fucking 6 weeks.
Laughing.
You know what I mean? Well, I'm just saying, it's true. You know what I mean? So he's all right.
What are you laughing at, Diane?
I'm laughing because I've been down that road. Open wound, talking about, hey, I need some help. My eye's bleeding, I got
go sit in the corner. You'll be fine.
We're gonna have to get you an appointment. I take it off, blood squirts. I'm like, I don't think the appointment's gonna work out.
Yeah.
I did the same exact thing. Like, it's not gonna work out. I kind of need some help now.
Jesus.
I've lived it already.
Yeah, and it's not like I mean, I don't know. I could be talking out of turn. So correct me if I'm wrong. It's not like you guys can go to like a walk-in, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know what I mean. Or the only thing that Donnie would have in his disposal at that moment was to go to the ER, right?
Right, that's the only thing. You gotta go to the ER.
Right. In the meantime, wait a minute. In the meantime, okay, the ER's fixing you up, and they're like, here's some antibiotics for an infection, and then or you call the VA, and you're like, hey man, I was just at the emergency room, half my fucking eyes hanging out. They put it back in, but they said I need an appointment right away. Okay, Donnie, we'll see you in about fucking 7 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If your eye starts to come out of your socket again, just go back to the ER.
Push it back in with a soft object.
That's about
You
how
know?
it goes right there. At least my
Jesus.
experience is that's about how it goes.
Yeah,
That's
because it used to kill me. You know what I mean? They're the same guy. You know, and some of these guys are fucking war hardened. You know what I mean? So a drink just settles them down. You know what I mean? And they're at the bar and they're just doing their thing. You know, unfortunately, that's how some of them, you know, end up. You know, their fucking life is at the bar. Most of them, you know, the ones that I met in my lifetime. And I've met World War II veterans and everything, you know, and that was their, to answer everybody's question that's still watching, is that's their biggest thing. Wait. They always have to fucking wait. You know what I mean? And sometimes some of them die from
yes.
waiting. From waiting.
Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, I wish there was something,
You know? Well,
something
here's
that could be
what we
done
can
about that.
do. Here's what we can do. You abolish the fucking VA as far as medical goes. Keep the VA for anything else internal, you know what I'm saying? How you're getting your retirement and all that fucking stuff like that. But as far as a medical facility, get the fuck out of here.
Trump
Give these
wanted
guys,
Trump
give these
wanted to
guys,
privatize it.
say again?
Trump wanted to privatize it.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what happens if you privatize it? People, they're going to see money real good. And yeah, they're going to see you guys. You know what I mean? Because then now they're going to get paid on a visit. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right.
But
Well,
Yes, sir.
with that
There's
being
more
said,
people than that, but
go ahead, Donnie. I'll give you a
no,
minute, man.
there's some people that don't even want to deal with it. I can tell you right
Right.
now because I went through that, and they were like, "Here's a voucher. You deal with TRICARE and getting paid." So that's where I'm saying policy got to change too if you want to privatize it.
Right.
But who's going to train all the medical professionals? Because in that medical industry, VA trains 50 to 70% of the medical professionals.
Right.
Who's going to train all them?
Well,
That's just a
Donnie,
question
if
upon
it gets privatized, then now you can ask for funding. You get funding, all that stuff like that. And
Okay.
I think it would attract a medical student more to go work for the VA, knowing that it's privatized. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah,
it's
money,
just a thought.
dollars,
It's
dollars. Yeah,
dollars,
they'll get paid more.
dollars, dollars.
Yes.
All right, then.
That's
All
what it
right,
is.
then. There you go. There you go. All right.
You know. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning into the show tonight. Don't forget to catch us next Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. right here on FFN Radio Network. Guys, always a pleasure. Don't forget to check us out next Tuesday. We'll see